Let's talk about tonal values. What are values? Tonal value is one of the three dimensions of color, and it refers to the brightness or darkness of a color. If we remove the saturation or intensity of these colors, we're left with the tonal value. We can do the same thing for this painting by Van Gogh. It looks pretty colorful, but if you remove the saturation, you can see that most of it is actually pretty much the same value. For your brain, value is by far the most important aspect of color when it comes to understanding an image. We can change the saturation here and push it way over the top, or we can desaturate the image. In both cases, you can still understand that this is a portrait. We can also change the hue of the image, which is its color identity, red, blue, green, and so forth. This changes the mood, but it doesn't really change the shading or your ability to make sense of the image. But if we change the value overall, the image fades out to white or black. And if we start putting random values in there, for example in the reflected light of the nose, or in these halftones, you can see how the image is starting to fall apart. Remember this, value change equals form change. Value change equals form change. So your ability to shade is based on your ability to manipulate tonal values. Here's another important quality of tonal values. The way we perceive a value depends on its context. In other words, a value changes depending on the value that's around it. Look at these two squares. Let your eyes adjust for a moment. Can you see that the one on the right appears darker? Well, actually, they are the same. This still looks like a gradient, so let's use a flat background. And you can see it's all one tone. So values are relative, based on their context. But not only this, values are also relative based on your brain's interpretation of the image. Which area looks brighter to you here, A or B? To me, B looks brighter. Well, they are the same. B is inside the cast shadow, so your brain interprets it differently than A. This is an optical illusion, and the same thing will happen to you as you draw or paint. You will misjudge values. The solution to this is to work with value relationships rather than trying to match a particular value in the model or reference. More on that later. The last concept I'd like to explain here is local value. The local value is the average brightness of a material. In this case, the white marble of the left image has a similar local value to the clay vessel in the middle image. The sculpture on the right has a much darker local value. To summarize, tonal value is brightness or darkness. Values are relative, and different materials have different local values.